Hello everybody and welcome to Cryptonomy. Today we're going to be discussing Livermore's speculative chart and what it can tell us about Bitcoin. First of all, nothing that will be said here is financial advice, is for educational purposes only, so please do your own research and be careful in the market. I'm here just to help you make your decisions, and I hope you can agree on me with some facts, and you might even disagree on me with other facts. So a little bit about me. I'm a data scientist and a computer scientist. I've been an investor in Bitcoin for around 6 years. I was able to turn a humble, small amount of funds into six figures this cycle. And it wasn't by luck, it was by hard work and a lot of analysis and data. So what you're gonna see here is some of the analysis I do, and you can check other videos as well. If you'd like to learn about what made me profitable and what also made me lose some money, then please do hit like and subscribe, and let's get on with the video. So what's interesting about Livermore's speculative chart is that it did play out a lot in the stock market. And interestingly, throughout Bitcoin's history, it had not played out. But this cycle, it follows it to the T, which is very, very interesting. Before we get into Jesse Livermore's chart, I want you, maybe if you guys don't know him, then you can pause the video and read a little bit about him. But I think this sentence alone can summarize his success. So when he was 23, in the year 1900, he turned a small $10,000 into into 50,000 in 5 days. That's how good he was. But it's also important to note that then following year, he anticipated a crash, went short using 400 margin, and he lost his entire stake. But they say here it's not his fault. Who knows? Doesn't matter. All you need to know about him is that he was so good, he was making a lot of money, but he was also such a risk taker that he kept losing it. And at the end of his years, he actually took his own life with his own hands. So what it teaches us, let's learn the good things about Livermore and what made him profitable, but also do not, well, it's up to you what you do with your money, of course, but please be careful. Yes, you can make a lot of money in the markets, but you can lose it in an instant as well. So take everything said here with a grain of salt, and I hope it helps you make better financial decisions. We're going to analyze Jesse Livermore chart piece by piece. So he very nicely numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Anybody can do that. He also, this relates to the volume. And what that means is not positive or negative volume, which what I thought at the start, but I did some digging and research, and it's actually, is volume increasing relative to the previous volume, or is it decreasing? So if we go from the start and we just hide everything just to make it simple, right? And let me close that. We go full screen and here. The first thing we see is we have to draw an ascending channel. After you draw an ascending channel, then you see 1 and 2, right? And that's a 1 and 2. And what's interesting here is the volume increases relative to the previous volume. So in 1, we do see an increase in volume right here. Let's delete that. Wait, no. Let's exit the full screen. I'm going to use the pen here. So you can see right here, there's an increased volume comparing to right here. So that validates it. 1 is validated. Number 2, you see a similar thing. Volume here is relatively larger than number 1. So what that means is we also got another point of validation. Number 3, however, he notes that there's a decreasing volume. What does that look like on a chart? It's very simple to see, right? Right here, there was a decrease in volume comparative to the previous zone. And this goes without saying, but I'll point it out anyway. Number 1 and 2 were at the top of the channel. Number 3 was at the bottom. So what he's trying to point out is during the asset's price ascending, we see an increase in volume. But during the fall of an asset price, you see a decrease in volume. That means when the price is going higher, people are more interested in the asset. And when it's going lower, people are less interested. That means there are more participants in the market. Well, speculating here, right? Could mean a number of things. But what we can say, people are not interested in selling the market. They're interested in buying it, which is a good factor in bull markets. That validates the bull market trend. Then we can go to the fourth point where we hit the top of the channel again at an increasing volume. So I've been tracking this almost through half the cycle, and it helped me a lot. And the point here is to know, are we heading into a bear market, or are we going to have our last banana zone that everybody wants, right? That's why everybody's studying Bitcoin right now. On the fifth point, where we hit the bottom of the channel again, you see a decreasing volume, which is present both on the chart, Bitcoin's chart, and Livermore speculative chart. Isn't that interesting? How can a 100-year-old page ripped off Jesse Livermore notes help us analyze Bitcoin? Some knowledge can stay way ahead of a person's death. What we see after is the sixth point with an increasing volume again. This means we're still following Jesse Livermore speculative chart trend. At the seventh, decreasing, good, but where we start to deviate is just before the banana zone. It's just before the euphoria phase of the market. And that's the eighth point, which we never got to. You can see the first sign of deviation when you hit the bottom channel before hitting the top of the channel. The eighth point corresponds to a breakout of that channel, which can help us get to the higher highs. But the eighth point here wasn't at the top of the channel. It was at the bottom of the channel. And right now we're breaking Livermore's speculative channel. That's the first warning signal. But not only that, if you dig deeper into the volume that Jesse Livermore indicated 100 years ago, is that you should see an increase in volume with an increase in price. And preferably, of course, if the price is increasing, then you should see a positive increase in volume, not a negative one. All right? It should be a positive increase in volume. Here we see quite the opposite. A negative increase in volume with the price of Bitcoin hitting the bottom of the channel right here and right here, and not reaching the eighth point where Jesse Livermore pointed out that we should be breaking out of our channel inside into the bull market, which you might have felt it right here. You might have felt that breakout, the initial breakout, right? Everybody felt it, but then we just sold off right away. That feeling should have carried out for months, not for a week or two. Which makes you wonder, are we gonna have the euphoria phase of the bull market? Because if you see this red zone right here that is highlighted, that red zone corresponds to the periods where Bitcoin had a major top. Here, which is, 8th November, 11 December, and so on, right? And 25 November, whatever. So we did not break out of the channel, and we went down in time when the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin has reached its last phase, its last few months. So a lot of people talk about there are no signals flashing that the bull market is over. But did anybody wonder that they're checking the wrong signals? If the same signals flash at the peaks and troughs, then isn't the game too easy? You have to dig deeper. You have to, at least up to you, but I think that's the best way to just have a different perspective and see what a lot of facts, a lot of ideas, even 100-year-old ideas can tell us about what is happening. And if it just has the chance of actually explaining what it could be, then logically maybe we could accept that idea. Now, nobody has a crystal ball, and if anybody tells you, I'm sure the bull market has started, then you should probably never listen to them again. Nothing is sure in this market. We are all speculators at best. We all make our best guess and give a probabilistic number to a certain outcome. And this just increases my likelihood and my probabilistic number that the bear market could be in. Could be is the word, right? For all I know, for all anybody know, tomorrow we could wake up and we, like Trump raises all tariffs, the Fed start printing money, and we would have our extended cycle, right? For all we know. But so far, the facts are leaning towards the downside with a potential upside, possibly, but I'm not betting on that. Upside for sure, but what you should be betting on and speculating, not even betting, speculating on, should come from your own research. Another warning factor we can actually check on just before it doesn't seem like we're gonna go right down straight ahead. A lot of people getting confident shorting Bitcoin for many obvious reasons, I guess. But I think some of these people are gonna be caught with their pants down because there's a lot of liquidity right now at the top. What I could see here is a possible bounce to the like 100, 110 levels, probably like 100 to 105 or like something 107, I'm not sure, but I do anticipate a bounce because of that liquidity, where a lot of people might go and invest their holdings again. But little will they know that we might continue our way down. Just because of the liquidity factor. Even if when you look at the like Ethereum or Bitcoin ETF flows, they're all negative. In bull market, at least the bull market we had, or having, we saw a lot of inflows and never seen such an elongated period of outflows. Which is also another factor to consider. Anyway, this is all I have to say about Jesse Livermore. I hope this video has taught you something, and I hope you read about his history. If that interests you, there's a book about him. It's called Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Explains all his life story. All the top great investors, not all, but most, at least that I've seen their interviews, they speak about that book, that it helped them evolve and it helped them make profits. And that's the #1 cited book for successful investors. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you next time.